I have a little bit of few, my apologies, but I will try to raise up my voice. Chairperson, let me extend my warm greetings to yourself and the members of the Portfolio Committee on Cogta. Extend greetings to the Speaker of Legislature, Dr. Mohono, the PPEC members, and Salga AG, all protocol observed. Chair, before I respond to the questions, I want to appreciate this visit by Cogta that seeks to assess the state of municipalities in our province. We appreciate. Going straight to the questions raised by the honorable member, in terms of the functionality of council, council is functioning effectively. Since this current term of council, we had convened 62 council meetings. Yes, indeed, there were 2 councils that were not successful due to the quorum, Chairperson. But getting into those meetings, the first meeting that I convened, Chair, it was in accordance with the rules and orders of the House. And during the meeting, I lost the quorum. In terms of the standing rules and orders of the House, the Speaker should monitor the quorum throughout the meeting. That time, Chair, Council was considering the report from the Financial Disciplinary Board on the allegations against the municipal manager. Now, Council engaged robustly on the matter, but some councillors, they walked out. As a result, I've lost the quorum. Now, in terms of our standing rules and orders of the House, the council that did not conclude its business, the Speaker should or must convene another council, Chair, but not as a special, but as an ordinary. And for ordinary, Chair, in terms of our standing rules and of order, it needs to, the invitation needs to be issued 7 days before. Now, in the middle of that, Chair, the Speaker received the court papers. Now, I had to now convene I was cited, the executive mayor was cited, and the then acting MM was cited. Hence, I convened that council. And as a result, we had some councillors complaining that I did not convene in accordance. But I did try to request the chief whip to convene the whipper as part of his legislative functions in terms of Section 41, capital B of the Municipal Structures Act 3 of 2021, that says the chief whip should manage conflict amongst members of the multi-party. And I believe the chief whip convened that meeting, but as a result, they did not agree. But as the Speaker, Chair, I cannot receive the court papers and keep quiet. It was important for me to urgently try to convene council, for council to express itself on the court papers so that it can take a decision of in which it can go and defend the matter or not, Chairperson. Hence, those council meetings did not succeed, but it should not be misconstrued as council being dysfunctional. Like I indicated earlier, we convened 62 council meetings since 2021, Chairperson. Moving to...
Can we just request all the phones be on silent, please? Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Moving to the following question with regard to the functionality of MPEC. Chairperson, Madibeng Municipality established 3 MPECs. The first one, the initial one, was established on the 7th of December 2021, and due to a poor performance in October, July, Chair, Council took a decision or a resolution to dissolve that MPEC. Subsequent to that, Chairperson, in October 2024, the second MPEC was established, and also due to poor performance, it was dissolved. Now we are having the third MPEC. And Chairperson, the functionality of MPEC is part of the legislative functions of the Speaker. In terms of my functions originating from Section 37 of the Municipal Structures Act, the Speaker should ensure the effectiveness of Council and its committees, Chairperson. Now, my role in this regard, Chair, is to provide support, and indeed we have done so. We have provided capacity training programs in collaboration with the SALGA and Cogta, but at the end, Chairperson, that MPEC did not produce a positive result, Chairperson. And I believe we all know that Council consider or determine the functions of MPEC in terms of Section 79A, subsection 3, Chairperson. Now, in terms of those functions, those former MPECs, they only did or realize one of its functions to initiate or develop an oversight report on the annual report. That they have realized. But in terms of interrogating the UIF NW, that has never happened, Chairperson. I'm talking about the UIF, Chair, because it's part of the legislated functions in terms of Section 32 of the Municipal MFMA, Chairperson. So, as a Speaker, I did my part. And when you look at the core functions of the MPEC, the Speaker cannot get into their core functions because it will now be interference. Remember, the Speaker can always be summoned by the same MPEC to come and account on the UIF that will be incurred by the Office of the Speaker, Chair. But from my side, as a Speaker, working together with Salga and Cogta, we have done our part to capacitate the members of that particular committee. And I can say to you, Chairperson, that almost 90% of the members in that committee, from the first one that was established on the 7th of December 2021, are still members today in the current MPEC. And in terms of corrective measures, Chairperson, to capacitate the current one so that they can deal with the UIF, because our UIF is increasing every day, but that UIF, it goes as far as from the 2016-2017 financial year, Chairperson, till to date. Now, it's important that the accounting officer start investigating the UIF so that he can report to MPEC, for MPEC to interrogate that UIF and NW en route to Council, Chairperson, so that we can be able to recover or write off.
Can I stop you there?
Thank you very much.
I've understood your part, but there's just one question. You are saying that the MPEC is not effective. It's the same people who have been there, they've never been changed, you've done capacity building, they are not effective. Why aren't you changing them?
Chairperson, remember in terms of composition of that committee, is constituted by 13 members, and Council is represented by 10 political parties, of which in that MPEC 7 are ANC members and 4 from various political parties. Now, Chairperson, it is above my control to change the members. Remember, immediately when you establish a committee, members will be submitting their representative to participate in the MPEG. Mine is to provide support to Chairperson as a speaker.
You just said from the start, you're running a very effective council, 62 meetings. What are you doing if the other members can't be effective? Have you discussed this thing and said to the council, this MPEG is not working, it's not effective, that it must be changed? And somebody says, no, that's not your job. Did somebody say so?
No, Chairperson. Maybe let me clarify, Chair. Chair, the third MPEG, I think it has few months. It has few months, and with the same people, 90% of those that started to participate in 2021. Now, Chair, from my side, because I still have hope, from my side as a speaker, I enrolled them with the National School of Government. They're going to be trained this September. I enrolled them together with the Portfolio Committee on Finance so that they can be able to assist one another. But Chair, again,
how long have they been there?
It's been long, Chair.
And they've not been able to deal with the UIFW?
Chairperson, also let me indicate that, like I indicated, that the MPEG is not necessarily investigating. It interrogates the section, the UIF report. Now remember, as the municipality, we've been having a lot of MMs. We were
So why don't you tell us where the problem is? Because what you are saying to us, MPEG is not effective, but the way you're moving around it, we can see the MPEG is not effective, but you're not telling us why there is no change. And you just be specific to the point. Where exactly is the problem?
investigation has never been done, Chairperson, but it's not only investigation of the UIF to MPEG. MPEG has a lot of functions. Remember, it also review the Auditor General report, also the...
Okay, let's put it this way.
Yes.
You are the speaker. You are charged with the responsibility to make sure that MPEG works. You're saying MPEG is not working, but you're helpless about it. Who should solve the problem, and where is the problem?
Not that I'm helpless, Chairperson. If you listen to the...
No. You've been a speaker now since 2021, isn't it?
Yes, since 2021.
Now, in the 4 years you've been there, you're saying this MPEG is not effective, and you're going to be leaving next year. And you think it's fine. It has never been investigated, so you say. But you are not telling us where is the problem and how are you solving it, and you think it's fine. You've got a hope. You've got a hope until you leave the office.
Not Chairperson.
So let's explain then. All we're interested in, where is the problem? How are you solving it? That's really the problem. That's the EU question.
Chairperson, maybe let me take members into confidence with regard to the instability of at the level of senior management. But now currently, Chair, at least we have appointed Section 56 managers. They are permanent, and we also have substantive MM. Now, part of what contributed towards MPEG not dealing with the UIF was as a result of those officials that were seconded. Remember, Madibeng worked with the interventions from Cogta since we came in 2021, Chairperson. But also,
you know, the first question asked by Member Labuskachne is the functionality of your council. And he said it's working well. Now we're going back. You want to take us into confidence. There's been a problem with the management. But at the beginning you said the municipality is functioning well.
Chairperson, at the level of governance, yes, council in terms of its functionality is doing well, Chair.
But it's the beginning. You said the municipality, municipality is functioning well.
Chairperson, at the level of governance, yes, council in terms of its functionality is doing well, Chair.
What is the instability?
It was at that time when we were having a lot of acting MMs. Remember at the time when you have acting MM trying to deal with UIF, they were withdrawn from the municipality. There were other people seconded to it. There are other functions of MPEG, Chairperson.
You see, I've been talking to you now for 10 minutes. I still don't know what is the problem. I might be the only one. Yes, you come in.
Thank you, Chair. I do understand that impact, whether impact is functional or not functional, we have to get down to what the problem is. The non-investigation of UIF is actually the responsibility of the MM. So impact is doing certain oversight, get a report, refer to council, and then decisions has to be taken. But the responsibility of the account is of investigation is that of the accounting officer, who is the MM. So for how many months, how long did you have? Was there a problem with the MM? And because part of my question, I ask about impact, I ask about the disciplinary board, and I've also asked whether UIF is being investigated or not. Now, whether it's part of impact's role or not, the accounting officer also has to investigate. So in trying to explain to us what is going on, also focus on the role of the MM and what was done about the investigations or not.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think, Chairperson, I should focus on the functionality of MPEG with, in terms of other responsibilities. We are trying our best, like I indicated, to provide capacity building, Chairperson. And as a speaker, I will just observe its functionality and report to council on its functionality. And remember, Chair, we cannot measure a functionality of MPEG through the sitting, only just taking
You know, you're arguing the wrong way. We want facts from you. We don't want the argument. Now you want to argue with us. You're taking the wrong direction. We are asking a simple question. What is the reason why there's no investigation, and what are you doing about it?
Chairperson, yesterday in the presentation by the Executive Mayor, he gave corrective measures to deal with the UIF, Chairperson. And as a speaker, I've committed myself when we met with the AG that I'm also, as a role player, I will ensure that through the rules, we review the rules of order so that we can monitor the UIF.
No, I think let's hold it.
Okay.
Let's leave this issue now. Let's get the response. Let's hear the mayor. Let's hear the MM.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning, Chairperson. Let me at the very outset indicate that perhaps speaking like an equivocator here, one would indicate that the speaker's presentation simply wanted to clarify, but it degenerated into something.
No, don't try to do it that way.
Yeah.
We're asking a question, just answer the question. Don't
Yeah.
try and second guess the speaker, because we just got lost. After 15 minutes of her on the floor, we can't hear what she's telling us. Now you can't go back there. What you must tell us is, here's the question. MPEG is not effective, is not functioning. UIFW have not been investigated. We're asking why. Where is the problem and how are you solving it? Now, I don't want to hear what the speaker said because I've listened for 15 minutes, so I can't get anywhere.
Yeah, let me state, we have a functioning MPEC. Now, the MPEC has presented its report in the last council meeting with clear recommendation as to what must happen. And the MPEC indicated that there's got to be action that the MM must take, and has been given clear line of march on the investigation of the UIFNW and bring such report to council. When necessary, with authority vested in the MM, action should be taken against officials affected. That's as far as the council resolution of the last council meeting is concerned. So there were 2 reports of MPEC which we processed in council, which relates to exactly the question you are asking. So there's a functional MPEC that meets, that processes issues, and it is a recently established MPEC, as the speaker said, that it is not for, I think it's about 2 months or so, that the MPEC has been re-established, given a resolution by council to dissolve that other previous MPEC. So I may, without any doubt, put before you that there is that evidence we can supply for yourself to say.
So are the investigations, please switch off your phones. Have the investigations been done?
Yeah, as matters stand, the report I got from the MM is that the investigations are done, and we are also assisted by the 106 process in terms of the UIFNW and other things that I think warrants an attention and action from the side of the MM, and for council to receive the report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a question answered? All the questions answered?
Thank you, Chair. Can I just get clarity on, you said the council, the impact was functioning in the last 2 months or recently. So when was the last council meeting that these 2 reports served? And then it was referred and investigated all in 2 months. It must be the most effective way, because I've never heard of that in any council. So the timeline doesn't make sense to me. Can we get, when was the report served, what was the date of the council, and when was the investigations done, and is it been finished? Or did the investigation start? Because if that is happening, then I understand it. Thank you.
No, sorry. The issue of 2 months, the meeting sitting, the investigations done comes from the mayor. So you answered it, Mayor. The question is a follow-up to what you've just said.
Yeah, can I get the question again, Chairperson, without...
You're going to give us problems.
Sorry.
You are going to give us problems. Because when we answer a question and then you go and look on the phone, then we must wait for you and redo a question. When were the meetings and when were the investigations done? Within 2 months, could they finish the investigations?
The meeting of council was on the 28th of August.
And would the investigations have been done in 2 months?
No, the investigations, according to council resolution, directs that the MM commence with the investigation as from the 28th of August, as I said. So, as matters stands, the investigations are going on.
So they've not been done. They've only just been started.
Yes, they've just been started.
Can I bring the mic this side?
It's here.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you, colleagues, and Matibeng. The issue of MPEC. So you have dissolved many, or let me say 2, before the one that was constituted in May, Mr. Mayor. So when they arrive in the office, they went and visit project of PMU. What did you do with that report? The first one. The second one, on the issue of what do you call UIFW, it is said that they are being frustrated by the office of the Speaker. They went and investigate and meet, and they send the report to the Speaker. For instance, they wanted a special meeting to be proposed on 2 dates to the Speaker, and you allegedly said that is not urgent. So in a nutshell, there is a functional impact now since May, but they are on a number of occasions get blocked when they want to do their work by the Speaker, especially if they want to table a report. The one that we are speaking about, Mayor, with their recommendations, they wanted that report to go back to their committee to do the more investigation on it, especially on the UIFW. But they are frustrated because they don't get information from the office of the municipal manager on a number of occasions. So why are you blocking the...
Let's have a response.
Thank you very much, Chair. It is not true that I'm disturbing the work of MPEG. How would I do that, Chairperson? As MPEG is part of my functions and powers, legislated Chairperson, it means I will be now disturbing my functions. Now, Honourable Member, yes, indeed, there was a letter from MPEG requesting a council meeting, but the letter came 4 days before the ordinary council as scheduled by the corporate calendar. So I said to the chairperson, no, it's okay, because in 4 days we are having an ordinary council. The report will be tabled to council, and indeed their report found the expression in the agenda of council. Hence the mayor is saying 2 reports from MPEG were tabled on the 28th of August 2025, Chairperson.
Okay, let's take another question. Here's a question, ma'am.
Thank you, Chair. I will go to this one straight. This municipality, Chair, is using 45.12 million on consultants. So this problem is really escalating. We came from 8 million and we closed with 22 point something million. Now we are on 45 million on consultants. I want to know the name of the consultant, what is in the SLA, what is it that the consultant is doing, how long the consultant has been with the municipality, also your vacancy rate in the finance unit, for how long, and also as I close, the MM, do we have the MM appointed? Because it looks like it's been months without the MM. Thank you.
You can add a question.
Thank you, Chair. This municipality has been under Section 139(1)B for more than 5 years. I would like to know whether there is any progress or any improvement. In one of their responses, they say MPEG composition negatively affecting the investigations of UIFWs. I would like to know what composition are they referring to? How is this MPEG composed that affects investigations? I would also like to know why are they not complying with the Treasury's debt relief conditions? What are the reasons? Thank you, Chair.
Please respond.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. And once more, let me start with the question of the MM. The MM is appointed and duly appointed.
When?
The MM was appointed in December of 2024. Secondly, the question on interventions. We had interventions, as the Honourable Member has said, and which interventions did not yield any positive results. The 1391B interventions for the period as you indicated.
Bring it closer so we can hear.
Yeah, let me repeat. The MM is duly appointed in December of 2024, 1. 2, the 1391B interventions, as Honourable Member has indicated, did occur in our municipality, yielded very little progress or results. But we must indicate upfront that currently we are under mandatory intervention of 1395 of the Constitution, and we have an appointed PER, as I stated yesterday, and we are working well with the PER, and part of the turnaround processes that we are involved in are also guided by the PER, and thanks to the intervention of the provincial government in both Cogta and Treasury of the province. And on the question of debt relief, I will ask the MM just to speak to this issue and also a matter of consultants, as indicated by Honourable Member Secretary.
Thank you very much, His Worship. Let me greet the House and observe protocol. Quickly on the issue of debt relief, Honourable Chair, I must indicate in the beginning the intentions of the municipality was to comply. We signed off with National Treasury. At the time of signing off, Honourable Chair, our expectation was that the anticipation in terms of cash receipts, revenue collection, expenditure management, all will go well. And we committed as such through installments. Along the way, Chairperson, we did not receive as much money as we initially anticipated. Expenditures were not well managed. We started defaulting from a cash flow point of view on the arrangement until Treasury took a decision to initially warn us that we were defaulting through an assessment, but later decided to say to the municipality, you are no longer qualifying to be part of the scheme. Seated where we are still sitting with that letter of non-compliance, and we wrote to Treasury to request that we be reconsidered through a second chance, and we're waiting for that response from Treasury whether we can be given a second chance. So that's on the debt relief. When you go to the issues of consultants, Honourable Chair, in finance, just to be specific, we do have consultants in the form of AFS and APR preparation. We also have got consultants in the area of asset management. We also have got consultants in the area of vet recovery. As a preamble, Chairperson, to the issue of consultants, I must acknowledge as the accounting officer that we're still trying to get our budget and treasury office from a skills point of view to be up to speed. If you go to history, you read the likes of our audit reports, you will concur with me when I say skills capacity is still an issue there. So these consultants come in the main to complement that particular space, but we know that we need to, over time, get rid of these consultants. That's why we appoint them on fixed terms in terms of number of years, maximum 3 years, and in the process, we make sure that they work with our teams so that the skills transfer by the time they leave. So it's a goal, long-term goal. As we proceed, trainings go as part of the package as well. Through you, Honourable Chair, the questions that were raised earlier, and I made notes, you may guide, if I may proceed to the other questions that were not covered, that were asked earlier by other members.
What are the questions? Deal with the questions. We need all the answers.
Okay.
So you can't withhold. Tell me, so I'll tell you if you're going the wrong way.
Sure. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Thanks.
And please, you have been told by Treasurer that you're non-compliant. That means you are resisting to cooperate. So what are you doing that's causing you to? That's the reason why they would stop. Because they came knowing that you are not able to do this, so they came to assist. Now they are pulling out. They are really putting you under terms because they think you are actually uncooperative. What are you doing that's causing you?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. What we did, and I'm going to touch simultaneously on the internal control environment. We did our own root cause analysis, and one of the key things we identified are the following. When you go into the ESCOM invoices, we have been taking them for granted without verifying the consumption points, the accuracies, and so on and so on. So we since introduced, from an internal control point of view, that our technical department, especially electricity, before we pay ESCOM invoices or even honor them, we do an internal audit through their unit, so that they are able to help us minimize any extra charges, which is happening currently. Number two, we went into the supply chain office. Just to make sure that we manage issues of expenditure, because over time what has been happening, Honorable Chair, is that the issue of cash flow management and excessive spending on our line items were emanating from the weaknesses in the supply chain office. I mustn't hide it, Chairperson, many a times we had invoices that were paid and budgeted for, but because they were honored by supply chain office, such were paid. And when you go into the actual cash forecasts, you are then out of the cash flow forecasts. You also start defaulting on critical debts like this one. Let me also indicate.
Do you have examples of such payments where payments were done but were not planned for?
I do, Honorable Chairperson. In the main,
just give the example.
It's in the areas of fleet management, contracted services. That has to do with fleet. But we also have got contracted services in terms of repairs and maintenance of your general repairs and maintenance on your water networks, your borehole drillings, and so on and so on. So in the main is the area of ITS, infrastructure and technical services. That's where a lot of our spending goes on.
And I believe you put a lot of money on security by December. That was not also scheduled.
Well, the correct narrative of that one, Chairperson, is that in December we paid invoices for security services, invoices that were accrued for, meaning it's invoices that we knew it's a monthly set of invoices. It's not true that it was ballooned or anything like that. That is not true.
Which company was this?
It's all four companies that we have. We've got Triotic. Must I mention the names?
You'll give me the names.
Okay.
You continue, but somebody will give you the names and how much was paid over there.
Okay. All in all, we paid 12 million for security services.
For all the four?
For all the four. So
12
it's a monthly,
million.
12 million monthly. It's four companies.
Yeah, okay, you'll give me the list, but continue.
Thank you very much. So back to the issue of debt relief, I was emphasizing where the leakages were in terms of going outside our cash flow forecast. So like I said, I'm going to couple it with the other internal control measures that we since put in place to come out of the hoods. The issues of UIFW, which talks heavily in terms of making sure we stick within budget, amongst others. The issues of UIFW, Honorable Chairperson, when I came in, I introduced, I must appreciate the previous MPEC Chairperson. Collaboratively, we introduced as an SCM checklist that we made it standard on our payment vouchers, so that amongst other checks, no payment goes through if it's not budgeted for. There's no line item. That is number one. But we also, Honorable Chairperson, on the issues of...
Just repeat that. Just let no payment goes through if
it's not budgeted for. So it's a checklist. It forces you to make sure that before you pay that line item, there's budget, there's money set aside in the budget. That's one control. But also the very same checklist will say to you as the processor of the payment to say, make sure that issues of supply chain compliance are on board. So it forces you to comment and approve before you go to the next level of payment. So that's one control, but I must also indicate another control we put in place is the issue of probity audits. Recently, you may have seen adverts in the website where we re-advertise tenders, big tenders, and we've done that because when I came in, I was on suspension. When I came back, I found tenders almost to be finalized, and I requested a probity audit that gave me severe findings. And to that extent, we decided before we make matters of an irregular ways, we then opted for a re-advert. So that's one other control. I must also indicate through the CFO seated next to me, we took a resolution and we issued a memo to the entire staff to guard against and to warn against any services that are undertaken on the ground or elsewhere without purchase orders. So there's a memo that we've issued to all staff in the municipality. And I'm talking to controls that were aimed mainly at curbing the historic culture that led us to this amounts of UIFW, Honorable Chair.
So this fleet payment security, was that within the cash flow projection for the month?
Yes, like I said, those were accruals. Those are month to month. We budget for those. Yes, the answer is yes.
They were accruals.
Those
that
are
means
security.
accumulated unpaid.
Yes, that's for security.
So that means you didn't actually comply in the previous month with your cash flow projections.
That's correct. And the main reason goes back to the issues of cash management that we're trying to solve now.
And have you found a reason why that is the case?
No, we did. Like I indicated, is the issues of prioritization when we go to issues of payments. You'll find invoices that get to be paid. How they prioritize, it's an issue for investigation. And when you asked, but is there a budget for this?
So are you investigating those?
Like,
who are you investigating them?
Like the leadership indicated, currently there's an investigation in my office, and I'm investigating all transactions. That goes, I said, with the support I have currently, we are going for the last number of financial years, starting from 24-25. We're going back until 22-23. What we're doing there, we're using all our Section 52 reports. How they're structured is they give you a detailed listing per quarter of all transactions. And every transaction through the CFO has got a narrative of whether it's you, is it I, is it F, or is it W. So I'm guided by the Section 52 reports from Finance.
Okay, let's deal with the rest of the questions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. You asked the question around the electricity tariffs, the NERSA issues. I must indicate this came as a litigation. I must indicate also, after picking it up, there is a litigation approaching the NERSA direction. I called a meeting with our business forum. One business forum is called Brett's Industrial Association, where they're sitting, I think it's 2 weeks back. One of the issues they raised is the same issue of NERSA, wherein I also indicated it's a matter sub judice. We've joined the application. We're participating in the process through our legal office, and will be driven by the outcome of that particular proceeding in terms of what needs to be done. So we're alive to any corrective measures that will be brought to our attention at a court level. But we are aware that there's a complaint about the tariffs. The other issue, Honorable Chair, which I think you'll tell me if I'm out of order, the issues of investigation of the UIFW, when my principals were reporting. I must indicate, Honorable Chair, when I came in on the 1st of December 2024, hardly 2 weeks I was with AG in Rustenburg, and we agreed with an action plan. In the main, AG gave me 2 assignments. They said one is the material irregularities, go in and work on these ones. But secondly, Khatla, is the issue of UIFW. So I came back to the office with a plan, but hardly 2 months I was on suspension. The plan was interrupted. And I've been interrupted. But that's not the issue. The issue is borrowing from what principals indicated, instability. You have a plan. I mean, it's a year already. Next year, you may ask, what did the MM do the whole of last year? So, and I want to believe what happened to me is happened to other predecessors as well. But also, you can imagine MPEC works with MMs. I mean, they've got a plan with the MM. I know I'm owing, after this investigation, I must see to the MPEC chairperson. We'll have our own undertakings. Before you know, you are told the MPEC chairperson has been changed. So I thought I must emphasize the impact of these instabilities either at MM, but you're going to call me to order. Let me
No, I
proceed.
will, because you are actually contradicting them. You see, what they say to us, that the MPEC is fine. They only changed it 2 months ago, but it was not effective because the investigations were not being done. And everybody is saying the investigations are supposed to be done by MM. What is the MM saying? It's them who are unstable, you are fine. What they're saying is that the MM is not investigating, the MPEC is fine. So you are out of order unless you convince us that your principals are telling us an untruth.
No, I was complimenting, and I want to withdraw a honorable chairperson if I caused confusion. I was complimenting.
Okay, tell us, all right, let's erase everything. Let's start from scratch. The speaker says, the MPEC is fine, but it's just not investigating. And they've been like that for the 4 years, they've not investigated. You came in last year. Then the speaker says she's hoping that this MPEC will be effective. She doesn't know how, but National School of Governance is going to assist them with capacity building. No, she's got a hope something's going to happen. So I said, why do you hope when you have got no proper diagnosis of where the problem is? No, the investigations are not, the mayor comes in. No, actually, 2 months ago we formed a new MPEC, and they've started the investigation, and investigations are going. So the member says, not in 2 months, they can't be finished. No, we're not saying in 2 months they're done. We're saying they are continuing. That's what the mayor says. Okay, the mayor says they are continuing, but there is a problem with the investigation. It's not a function of the committee, it's a function of the MM. And the MM comes. You remember my principal said there's a instability. That instability meant they kept changing the the MPEC chairperson. The MM is not addressing the lack of investigation. So somebody here is not telling us the exact truth. No, don't raise your hand. I'm giving you a summary because I don't want to repeat this thing because you're talking to us as though we didn't hear what the others have said, and you are contradicting them, and we want to know what actually is the truth. We stopped talking to the speaker because the speaker wasn't going forward to explain what the problem is. Now, we move to the mayor until we realize that it's you. No, the mayor is not going to speak. It's the MM that I'm addressing. But you'll have an opportunity to say if I actually misquoted you or if I said something that's not true. I'm just directing the MM that MM, we want to know why there are no investigations. Now you can't be scapegoating and saying, no, those MM chairpersons are getting changed. We want to know your side of the thing. If they're changing them, let us talk to them about it. But we want to know the investigation now. You don't actually investigate by worrying about who's the chair of MPEC. So let's get back to the point. Why?
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I'm going to emphasize the linkage between myself as the MM and the MPEC chairperson. The MPEC. Now, ideally, when transactions like this happen, the UIFW, I will prepare the Section 52 reports through the CFO's office, and those go to council. Now, in there, I've already done my investigation to say...
Don't disturb him. It looks like you are disturbing him. I'll give you an opportunity to speak. But from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're getting... I want you to focus on this thing. It sounds like you're getting distracted.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Chairperson. So, that preliminary investigation, Honorable Chair, would have already been done through Section 52 reports. It's at that level where, as the accounting officer, I'm able to say to council, this is unauthorized, this one is fruitless, and so on and so on. So I go to council with a preliminary report. Now council will then say, seated here as council, we've got a committee that must interrogate further. Now, when that decision is taken through a council resolution, then MPEC says, okay, then they come back to my office as the accounting officer, and they say from council mandate, we need to go deeper into the issues. Now, we have a plan of action with MPEC as the accounting officer, including entry meetings, exchange of documents, and so on and so on. Now, that is a process plan. Now, I'm bringing in instability. As and when that is about to kick off and realize its life, you then have these changes that happen at that level, whether at the MM level or the MPEC arrangement. So I was bringing the dangers of not keeping it stable at that level, because you're affecting implementation of the issues on the ground. Many cases, action plans that were put there to proceed. So I was bringing that, Chairperson. I hope I've answered your concern.
I still don't understand why there's no investigation.
Okay, as I proceed. Now, coming to the issues of why there are no investigations, before I mislead the House, talking to my coming in, and I don't want to repeat the case. I only got a chance to do proper investigation now from the previous council. The whole time, Honorable Chairperson, it was not easy to stay in the office. I must be honest. Those who were following the media and newspapers. So as you plan, you stop. You leave the office, you come back. So it's only now that I'm finding myself able to sit, commit, and as I speak to you now, Honorable Chairperson, the reports when the EM said the investigation is in place. This is what I did. Straight from council resolution, I convened SMT. I requested my Office of Internal Audit to assist me. I distributed where the plan were done, and we agreed on how we're going to deal with this financial years. And the staff has been allocated to do that. So once we go into allowing us the environment to work, the investigations have kick-started. Prior to that, before my arrival,
I can follow now. There's just one part I still can't get. You couldn't investigate because it was not easy to stay in the office. So what exactly does that mean? Because you see now, it's affected the work of the entire municipality. Something made it difficult for you to investigate. Now you are fine, you're going to do it now. You are actually saying you were not doing it. Okay? Now, what is this that made you unable to investigate?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I came in on the 1st of December 2024. Well, fast forward December. In December, there were payments that came to my office that I perused and I was not happy with. January, I had corridor talks. I took it for granted that because of those transactions, I refused. I'm a target for fights internally, whether you call it politics or otherwise. So I took it for granted. And a month later...
Sorry, you're a target.
No, that's the corridor talks.
No, that's corridor talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk corridor talk.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
you're a target.
Yeah.
Of who?
Well, I was a target of the people who had interest in the payments that I refused to pay, but I couldn't get names.
But Chair, on the corridor talks, you came in December. January, the very same December, there's deviation of 15 million and other millions. You just came in, you embark on deviation, the council suspend you, and the mayor, the council force you on the leave. And then you go home and you come back on April. January, February, March, you are not in the council. You came in December, but already you have problems. But when you came back, Chair, in April, the new MPEC is constituted. Then there was no corridor fighting. May, June, July, August, September now. No investigation, no plan of action with the MPEC. Where is the link now? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Maybe let me correct my coming back. I came back in June. From February, it has been a tug of war in my coming back. I court resolved in June that I must come back. When coming to the issues of deviations, we did not have deviations in December. Let me correct the scenario. Thanks for the opportunity. What happened in December was with three issues that caused the fight between myself and council. Now, one, like I indicated earlier, the municipality has been operating on an unfunded budget, and heavily so, to a point where when you want to pay salaries, you literally have to pray that you're gonna get some revenue somewhere. So we're in that dire state, even as we speak. But I came in December quick to analyze. I realized we're in December, we have to close offices, and here are the invoices that I need to prioritize. So one of the invoices I had to prioritize there was the security invoices by the nature of the service, because we're going on holiday. Now, the invoices that had to be paid, there was no money in the bank, I must indicate. So I was faced with security invoices, but also I was faced with ring fencing the equitable shares that just came in December, first week. So I saw a marathon of invoices. Like I said earlier on, Chairperson, this invoices just kept going if you don't manage it. So I said, we're going to ring fence salaries, at least for the next number of years until next year, 2025. So this money must be put in an investment account. I locked it up. Now, we then were left with the balance of equitable shares that was available to look after the invoices in December, many as they were. But I said to the team, please give me, apologies, please give me your priority list in terms of invoices that you're going to pay, because I want to do a high-level cash flow analysis, see if we've got enough to pay everyone, especially key service providers like security. The report turned out that we can't afford. So I said, let's pack everyone else, but let's prioritize security by virtue of the service and the criminal activities and bribes over December holidays. So we then said, as you're speaking, for as long as you're going to ring fence salaries, just know that you can't even afford security services. I said, fair and good, let's do this. We're sitting in December, we have got an MIG account, seated here. Seated where I am as the I'm closing offices, firms have closed, I paid all my MIG certificates, I've got a balance in the MIG account. Please do this for me. Because of the nature of the service security, please pay the security companies because they mustn't leave sight. We'll come back in January, we'll have a disaster. So I was acting in the best interest of the infrastructure of the municipality. But I said to the CFO, please, when you come back in December, the first collection that you get, please replenish this 15 million. That happened in January. So we took the 15 in December, we managed the issue.
Is 15 or 50?
15. The 15, Honorable Chair. So we then did that as a measure. So January came, CFO did the collection, she replenished, and then we moved on. So that's what happened.
And which ones were you suspended for?
That very same case.
That same case?
Yeah, that same case.
Okay, where are we with the, how did you get back from suspension? Was it just council, was it court, was what?
Yeah, before I mislead the meeting, it was that case, it was another case of settlement, it was something about project.
What, sorry, second case was?
Yeah, maybe let me give the House, there were 3 cases. That was the main one. The second one, it was the issue of a settlement. There's an employee, Honorable Chair. This employee was appointed on term, i.e. they were allocated a particular portfolio, MMC I want to believe. Now, they then, when the portfolios changed, the employee was terminated. Now, when I came in, the employee brought a grievance. Must I give you the whole background?
That's good enough. The third one?
The third one is to do with a contract, electrification project in Damonsville. It's a township in my area. Now, what happened with that case was the issue with the councillors around how I appointed. So, the person who raised it with council, I want to believe, did not have all the information around the appointment. And council picked it up later. Now, this is what happened. We had a strike, third, I think, strike in the same area. Now, the community came to my office and asked for intervention on the electrification project. So I asked the CFO, I understand you've got panel of contractors. Do you have anyone in electricity, a panel that we can go and borrow a service provider? The answer was yes. So I borrowed that panel. But before we could borrow the panel, Honorable Chair, there was a service provider appointed on the very same project on risk. I didn't know. So the community had to strike because this person was not starting the project. So I had a one-on-one meeting with the service provider. Actually, it was not a one-on-one. One-on-one with
the one was appointed, the one that you wanted to appoint.
The one appointed already. The one was delaying to, hence the community complaint. Now, the service provider then, no, I had a meeting with ITS, my director. So what I got there from the interview was the service provider was appointed on risk, is still looking for funding. That is why it is not starting. And unfortunately, that was after 2 years. So I said, then the community is justified for being aggrieved because 2 years down the line. So we agreed that we need to go into a solution, and then that's where the topic around who else is in the panel came in. So there's a panel appointed through proper supply chain processes that the municipality is utilizing. Now we went into the panel, but even before the panel, I said, you can't have 2 service providers on site. We need to terminate the one that has been delaying. So we terminated.
Okay. So we're not dealing with the case, we just wanted the heading, like headlines. Now, there's a lot of issues that have not been dealt with. Can you deal with the issue of consultants and vacancies?
Thank you very much. Like I said, I think I've touched on consultants already. The AFS, Mampudi, is the name of the company, Agnet on assets, MaxProf on VAT recovery. I think I've responded to this one already, Honorable Chair. Also just explaining why we've got consultants, the skills gaps, and so on and so on.
Company and amount? Do you have a company and amount?
The company is Mampudi, will share the amounts.
Okay, just list it up, you'll give us.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Mampudi, proceed, okay. Now, issue of vacancies, Honorable Chair, I must indicate we are not doing well. At Section 56 level, we lost 2 senior managers, that is the CFO and the senior manager ITS, through resignations. In the previous council, an item already was on the table, just to make sure that we go and advertise, and this work outstanding that council advised the accounting officer must still do some touch-ups and bring the report back. In the next council, Honorable Chair, council will be resolving on the advert in that regard. But generally on the lower levels, vacancies are too high. I must indicate the problem, the big problem we have in the municipality is the issues of budget. We keep on agreeing as SMT to say we want to fill up the positions, but colleagues, let's start by collecting revenue, because even the current salary bill, which is 22%, we believe is too high for us, given our cash flow constraints. So we're taking it easy there, and this is the easy part. We have asked senior managers to go into their long list of requests for adverts to prioritize through a stationery, we call it PO9s, it's forms, each senior manager must complete. So we sent back a long list per senior manager and say, please cascade it down to the very critical ones, because we can't advertise. So we are in that process. As we speak, we are putting together the adverts and so on and so on.
So these 3 issues that you were suspended for, could they be the reason why Treasury actually felt you must be thrown out of that debt relief program?
No, I don't know.
What are those issues from Treasury? You said earlier it was the management of your accruals, and it sounds like it's the same thing.
No. I won't read I've got the assessment report from Treasury, I won't read it verbatim. Let me summarize for you. The big issue with Treasury is we defaulted. We did not keep up to the promised installments. But obviously drilling down to the reason, one of the reasons and main reason is that our cash flow, we're not consistent in receiving the money that we want to receive from our consumers. But also on the expenditure management side, that's what I said earlier on, we're not containing our costs. There's a lot that we can do from a saving point of view, savings which we can rechannel to that ESCOM account. So Treasury was not happy with skipping the installments, number one. But also Treasury is not happy with our ring fencing, and it goes back to revenue collection. Treasury is saying, perhaps you could consider having a ring-fenced account where you put in the collection from electricity. You use the very same money to service this account. We're not doing it. So it boils down, Honorable Chair, to skipping the installments more than anything. But if you go down to the root cause, it cuts across. But like I said, it's all about money in the bank. Money in the bank.
Thank you. Let's take the...
Thank you, Chair. Listening to the presentation that has been done, it also indicates that the council have adopted unfunded budget. Then my concern is that in our councils we appoint the accounting officers, whom their responsibility is also to advise councils on the decisions that the councils are taking. So how come that the council is adopting unfunded budget while you have senior management, including the CFOs and the accounting officers? Secondly, Chair, the MM also spoke about the investigations of the UIF. And looking at the history of the MM, it also appeared that at some point he was suspended in relation to some other projects. So I want to check with the MM that is he part of the transactions that may require investigations by NPEC? And if so, how is he going to investigate UIF if he may be conflicted on that particular element? And on the issue of prioritizing security, that on its own may be right or may not be right, but what we've observed lately, another format of looting in our municipalities is for security companies and yellow fleet. So we also need to look at our priorities when we do payment, especially when it's in line with those two services, because that's what we've observed, that with security, you'll come and say we are having 40 security for 40 sites, only to realize that you are only having 15 securities, but then you are paying for this number of people. That's where we've also realized that yellow fleet, water tankers and security is where most of corruption is happening. Thank you, Chair.
Dlangamal.
No, thank you, Chair. Chair, follow up on the issue of unfunded budget. So the report 2024-2025, page 96, talks of the expenditure framework budget as unfunded. So number two, there's an issue of going concern, uncertainty, where on the municipality 2023-2024 of the MFMA report, it is reported that there was a deficit of 308 million. There's an issue of current liabilities which exceed assets of 809 million. And also there's an issue of financial problems. So what is the response in terms of the municipality? So number three, there is also budget spent, but fewer targets achieved. On paragraph 48 of the municipalities 2023-2024 audit report, they've achieved 67% of targets in terms of basic service delivery and infrastructure, but spent 100% of the budget. Thank you, Chair.
Let's have responses passed to. Please proceed with the response. Let's move the mic over.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Quick one on whether I'm part of the UIFW. Maybe let's not preempt, intimidate the process. I won't say as yet. The investigation is still on. Will be guided by the outcome, the Honorable Chair. And obviously, if I'm part, I want to believe the process will apply to me like anyone else. So I don't want to preempt, Honorable Chair. The issue of security, fraud, we take it as an advice, and we can't deny that. But I must also indicate, as a person, I took it upon myself one of the days, I think is the reason why I was also not liked by some. I raised an issue on when I visited one site, on a serious note, Honorable Chair, and I took a phone and I asked the company, why do we not have the guards on site as per schedule. And right there and there, the issue was corrected. I must indicate, they quickly corrected it. It was the number of person at a shift. So that was corrected. And from that point, I don't want to sit here and say nothing wrong is happening in our space. I want to appreciate Section 106. I want to also appreciate, I must also indicate, Honorable Chair, I already received an approval from the MPEC chairperson, Audit Committee chairperson, way before my suspensions, where I requested a special audit. And this was following my visit, where I specifically requested an ad hoc on the security services. I know it was finalized in my absence. I will just have to go back and find the report and see what they uncovered. So I wouldn't want to defend issues under security, but we remain guided by this meeting to look into it. Unfunded budget. Like we said in the report, I think my chairperson is to emphasize on the corrective measures. We did not hide it. We are unfunded. It's an issue that I've been trying to cover in other questions to say we are unfunded mainly because we're not collecting revenue, one. But very, very important, Honorable Chair, we are overcommitted. We have got contracted services.
Your voice is loud. I can hear from here. Your voice is loud. I can hear from here. I only worry if you're going to repeat the question that's been asked. Why is he talking?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was emphasizing on the way forward. We are overcommitted at the budgeting phase. As much as you can see that I'm overcommitted, in instances, it's not easy to cut. One, mainly because, I'm going to give an example, security, now that we are talking about security. You can see that I don't have enough from the collection side to honor security invoices, but we are contracted. You also go into the IT services. You are contracted. Services are happening. You want to cut. You can see that these invoices I won't be able to honor. But all I'm saying to the meeting is that we acknowledge that we did our own introspection. We put measures in place. You also go into the IT services. You are contracted. Services are happening. You want to cut. You can see that these invoices I won't be able to honor. But all I'm saying to the meeting is that we acknowledge that we did our own introspection. We put measures in place. Won't be able to honor. But all I'm saying to the meeting is that we acknowledge that we did our own introspection. We put measures in place in the townships as a launch, but we're going back to town and everywhere else. So we're that desperate to go everywhere and find money. On the debit side, on the other side, we're saying let's go into the issues of expenditure, contain, manage expenses, and that's where we are strict on supply chain. We are very strict on before we buy, the buyers know. I must also say to the meeting, when other measure under the internal controls, there was a trend of buying things that we already have in the stores. So when I came in, I picked it up and I put a stop to that. And I said, nobody can. Before we buy, supply chain is away. Before you buy any consumables, check with the stores. So we're all over with measures, but all in one spirit of trying to make sure that we save the little we have. So that's where we are. And funded budget without hiding it. Going concern, it's a culmination of all these problems that we have. So in the main, we are not liquid. Our gearing ratio is a problem. Our current ratio is a problem. All our financial ratios are a problem. But the root cause I've indicated, we solve the issues of revenue and expenditure. Honorable Chairperson will be able to be liquid in the main. We'll be able to ring fence some money in the bank, but also be able to have our current assets over our current liabilities, so that we're able to honor the invoices on a monthly basis. Something we're peddling to do at the moment. We solve all these issues, Honorable Chair, will be a going concern. That's the issue at hand. The issues of fewer targets. In the report, we did indicate that we have revised our SDBIP going forward. We had instances, Honorable Chair, where senior managers will have KPIs. Now, you then go to the senior manager and say, performance assessment. They say to you, but I don't have money to do this KPI. So we've been having a disjuncture between our budget as a document and our SDBIP. so that the two are complementary, are enabling each other. So this finding comes exactly from there. You have got targets there, you have got spending there. So we as we go into this new financial year, we managed to reconcile that particular space. And we also managed to go into our KPIs and make sure that they are smart compliant in terms of criteria. So those are issues we can't hide, but also to share and emphasize that going forward, these are the issues we're dealing with. You will guide me, Chairperson?
We asked you about sewage right at the beginning.
Yes. Honorable Chairperson, I'm going to touch on a few areas. Council resolved, and just resolved, I think it was a provincial instruction to environmentalize the issues of complaints management. That was done successfully through a council resolution. But even before that, we've got a war room, the war room that collects all these issues. And it's from that point where I'm going to make an acknowledgement, Chairperson, to say we're not doing well. And these are areas as an example. We're not doing well in certain instances. In certain instances, we're fine. We've got a township called Sunway. We had a meeting with HDA through Human Settlement. They made commitments to assist us there. There's a township development there. So one big area we identified with HDI right at the entrance was the issues of sewer there. But you go to Lekabile, there's a plant that unfortunately we had to battle with the community to get it running, and it affects Lekabile in a big way. It's a sewer plant. You go to Sonop. There's a public works infrastructure there. It's also a sewer that we are in talks currently with public works just to get it over to us, because the management currently can be improved without blaming public works. So we are saying if we can take it over so that it becomes a funded mandate, we can do some works around sewer there. But sporadically, Chairperson, in town and everywhere else, the team is on the ground. We receive calls, people give us videos, we jump in. There's a maintenance team on the ground. We jump in. Human Rights Commission, we meet and they give us updates also on complaints. So we are on the ground, but we are here today to say we can still improve and we can appreciate guidance from the meeting.
Okay, let's get the next question, Madam.
Thank you, Chair. It's not the next question. It's the question that they're avoiding to answer. The one that says they claim that the composition of MPEC negatively affects the investigations of the UIFW. I would like to understand what do they mean by that. Secondly, I would love to know, MM says he was suspended for this and that and that. What were the outcomes of that? Was it dealt with? Lastly, does the municipality know the role of MPEC, especially the MM? I'm worried at a situation where the MM is the one who's doing Ws, while they say they have an MPEC and they contradicting one another on the functionality and dysfunctionality of the committee. Thank you.
I didn't see the hand. Raise it early. It's fine.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. My issue is on the spending of 45.12 million on consultants. I understand that you have unpacked it or how much for AFS, but my problem is that why are you still using the consultant, whereas there is no fruits that are being bared there? You know that you have a problem of record keeping, so how can you pay the consultants knowing that there will be no results because you don't have record in place? One other thing is that the municipality, on the amount that has been spent on the entire irregular expenditure, was due to competitive bidding not being invited, which is contravening with the supply chain management processes. So I just want to know, why are you always in contravention with the supply chain management? The other challenge that the municipality is having is the supply of water, which is inconsistent. So what is the plan that you have now that you can use to be consistent in supplying water in your communities? The last one is the illegal connection, water illegal connection. Do you have a plan in place to do away or to resolve this issue so that everyone in your municipality can be able to get water? Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you. Sompa.
Thanks, Chair. Good morning, colleagues, and good morning to Madibeng Municipality. Firstly, I'm listening to you, MM. Firstly, I just want to know, do you have a concurrence? Do you have a concurrence from the MEC's office? And then the question that I'm going to have a few questions to ask. Are you able to check how many, if you can tell us how many fleet do you own as the municipality, water, electricity, road and waste, and sewage? Are there any farm or private land that municipality is owing? The reason I'm asking this question is because this could significantly help the municipality to have more savings, which could help on having more money in the coffers. And then the second question that I want to ask it's about the IT companies, Sizwe IT company and Intelligence Everywhere company. Why are you paying both companies while they are doing the same work? And the other issue, I want to ask this issue to the mayor. What happened to the appeal of the MM? How far is it? And then the other matter is to the speaker. There is a community that is asking that you must tell us as the parliament that you say there is a stability in your council, but apparently the last council, it overstayed. What was happening? You must tell us. What happened in that council meeting? What was happening in that council meeting? That took so long. Apparently until the evenings.
From the office of the mayor, in and out.
Tell us this team what
and
happened
as a result,
to that council meeting. Thank you very much.
Everybody was in fear.
Please respond.
Because some of them were having knives, and then they were told to come and step us, the people who were inside the chamber.
To the office because the purported mayor is telling this bodyguards or Nkabis that the MM doesn't want to pay you. So now they want their payment from me. Remember, they've got more than 40 days being.
I said it's 13. Now, going back to investigation, I indicated that MPEC does not investigate. It interrogates the work that is already been done by the accounting officer and make recommendations to council to ascertain recoverability of such expenditure and recommend for write-off to council. I think I've covered those two questions. And in terms of council, honorable member, I did indicate council meetings that did not succeed due to members working out of council. As a result, we lost a quorum. No, if members they work out and I'm there chairing the meeting, I cannot say this happened. I just lost a quorum, honorable member.
By the way, what did you say? Why did they walk out?
Chairperson, okay, we were dealing with the reports. We dealt with numbers of reports, but on that day, council, that took long. We were considering a report regarding the investigation that was done by the company, the attorneys that were appointed by the then acting Now, council took long in terms of deliberations. Council was divided on the matter. Hence, when I was chairing, some councillors were working out, chairperson, and as a result, I
So
lost quorum.
you were divided. What was the issue and what was the source? What were the divisions?
Okay, chairperson, it means I should give a brief background, chair.
Very brief. We
Very
just want
brief.
headings.
No, chairperson, upon receiving the allegations of financial misconduct by the
Which
we-
one? Which one?
the substantive we referred the matter to the Financial Disciplinary Board to further scrutinize and make recommendation to council as a committee of council. Indeed, the DP did its work and it came back to submit a report to council. Now, the final report of the board, its recommendation was saying it recommended that council further appoints an external independent investigator, chairperson. Now, upon adopting that report, councillors, some of them, they were not happy. They were saying the findings by the board are not big to warrant the to be expelled or consequence management for the Now, that meeting did not correct. I've lost the quorum. Subsequent to that, there was another meeting that was convened, chairperson, where
No, I just want to know what made the councillors walk out. That disagreement, and that's it.
Disagreement,
saying
yes.
The disagreement was you shouldn't proceed to get an external investigator.
yes,
So those who didn't want the investigator walked out, and those who wanted it stayed.
yes.
Okay. Let's deal with the other issues.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. There are two things that have been raised, which I think would require my role. The first is on the concurrence of the immediately after the appointment of the by council, we wrote a letter to the responsible MEC to inform him about the appointment of the and we'll have to verify if we did receive a response from the and we shall supply such evidence if such does exist. The next issue is the question of the appeal. The went to court and the judgment was very clear that whatever processes the municipality has embarked upon should cease and immediately he be reinstated to council. And as a result, he is reinstated in council. I thank you.
So what was the issue with the MEC and the
No, I'm saying, Honorable Chair, immediately after the appointment of the in December, we wrote to the MEC informing him about the decision of council to appoint the
And MEC never responded.
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, I do not remember such a response.
Okay, don't know what the MEC is here.
Yeah. The second matter relates to the appeal of the The went to court, and the court ordered council to immediately reinstate the and cease all processes about discipline and so on. And we immediately complied with the court order, and the is reinstated. No, mine is just a month, not 3 months. I don't think that's
Don't entertain your friendship in my meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. As I proceed with the other questions, let's start with the issue of water supply. Acknowledging that we are not covering as much as we want to cover. I'll give an example. In Klepgatsi and Khabalatsane, these are the areas I physically visited. And immediately from my visit, I called the city manager, City of Tshwane. The issue there is about Tshwane, Madibeng, and Rand Water going into a round table and agreeing to increase the quota there. But also the tripartite, everyone must do their part. For example, Madibeng must honor the invoices that we are currently not honoring. So there's a problem in that area of Khabalatsane. But being a problem, like I said, I've called City of Tshwane. We then wrote to Tshwane formally to propose a solution. And the last communication with the city manager, there's a meeting that they are having and they're going to agree on a solution. And we're waiting for that response. We'll be pushing a chairperson. That letter is less than 3 weeks old. We felt let's give them time, just look at it. Now, currently in that area, we supplying through water tankering, which the community are refusing. They're saying, if you allow you to water tanker, you'll never give us a permanent solution. But some are understanding and by the agency in that regard. Now, if you go to other areas, you are now in Brits itself. The town which we don't have so many problems, except when you go into the townships. Like Letabile, we have got regular stoppages there in terms of supply. I'll keep on saying when I came in December, Honorable Chair. Because in that plant, the Brits wastewater treatment works. The biggest problem that I want to put on record, I managed to solve, was monthly breakages of pumps. Very expensive pumps. If it's not broken, there's a motor this and so on and so on. So that problem has been resolved since. Now, it's improving, but I must also indicate elephant in the room, the Mahalis project, which we wish we can get it sorted soon so that that plant can solve 90% of our water problems, Honorable Chair, in Brits. But you go to the other areas, it will be areas of illegal settlement, wherein it's not necessarily within our budgets and expectations, but we intervene as much as we can, either through water tankering, boreholes, and so on and so on. So we continue to take stock through what councillors in the main. Earlier on, I indicated council resolved a platform for councillors, what councillors, to register issues formally. And the council resolved that quarterly the MM must bring a report. But council found my office already in there through a war room program. So we keep on receiving alerts from what councillors on areas that need immediate intervention. But generally, we don't think we are very bad. We are trying our best in terms of water supply because of the augmentations we have. Water tankering, still tanks, still reservoirs and boreholes. The other issues on the fleet, all in all, we've got 208 fleet items. Maybe I must indicate that from the 208, Honorable Chair, we have got water tankers that amount to 21, which we own, and we've leased 25. So we've in the 208, we've got 46 that talk to water tankers.
You know what? We would like to see that table, so you will get us all in writing, proper table. We'll come back with that. Let's finalize the questions.
IEE, it's IT. IEE and Sizwe. Sorry to cut you. Sorry to cut you, Honorable Chair. Okay. This is a problem I found, and this is what I did. I launched immediately an investigation into the matter. The investigation was launched because I did not find joy when I was talking to officials internally. I got multiple scenarios until I said, I won't get the truth here. Let me go and find an investigator. I received a preliminary report that was March somewhere, before I left, March. Now, the preliminary report said the following, Honorable Chair. Said, we have looked at the bid documents, we've looked at the scope of work, etc. Sizwe is the company that does not deserve a stay. I know it's a matter in court. I'm just sharing the preliminary investigation. So it's not the company that must be with the municipality. Please ask them to leave. I wrote a letter and I said to the company, please, I'm advised legally that you have to leave. You don't belong here. Now, after doing that, and that's when these things happened, I left. I came back, the company was still there. Services were rendered when I came back. Now, we're sitting with a situation where I then said, okay, in their leaving letter, they were given time frames which they did not comply with. Instead, they responded somehow, but you could hear they're adamant they're going to stay, and I left, and then they stayed. Now, when I came back, I was confronted with invoices for services rendered during my absence. But then I was reminded of the letter that I sent to them. I went back to my to the legal advice, and the legal advice said, pay their invoices up to the date of the letter that you sent to them, and anything subsequent don't pay. Seated here, we have not honored any invoices post the due date of the letter that I wrote to them. Now, that was the preliminary investigation and my comeback. Now, fast forward the section 106, the scope of which encapsulates the very same space. And that's how my investigation was affected. I felt I'm not here to compete with the MEC's office. Let them conclude on the section 106 because the scope clearly covers that particular area there. So once that scope is covered, it will give further guidance whether to continue with my investigation or borrow from the outcome of the investigation. That's where we are, Honorable Chair. So I'm mentioning Sizwe because this is the legitimate I can share that I was advised on from the investigation point of view. But, like I said, it was still preliminary. I was yet to hear on the side of the IEE. So I'm hoping, and CTT, I'm hoping that the sooner we finalize the 106, the sooner the municipality will have direction in terms of what to do in this particular area without passing on the responsibility.
Can you get the next? Yeah, we've had a very quiet CFO today. You are the CFO, aren't you? You look like one. Yeah, we're going to give you a chance now. Please just make sure that one question goes to CFO. Sheikh.
Thank you, Chair Kabazela, and good morning to everyone. It's really like an onion. It's like an onion, which would be fine if there were no tears. I would like to know, I mean, if you look at all these moving parts and all these things we are dealing with, two things flowing from that, I just can't find where you get it.
I'm very sorry, cameraman. You have a problem. You can't stand between the speaker and the people on the. They must see and hear. And the only other way you can do is to find a seat and sit. If you sit in front of me, yeah, you're fine. But just make sure that you are not so obstructive. Okay. Is there nobody here who's helping the media so that we don't have to get this disruption? All right, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I was saying that I would just like to know on two fronts that with all that is going on, as we've just experienced since you've been there, what are can you clearly illustrate the initiatives that you've taken for intervention at provincial level with the province, with SALGA? Because so far I've not picked up what really have you done, or because whatever I'm getting here, and I'm also asking myself, do you have any time left to deal with service delivery? Because we are just fighting fires all the time. So please, what is the relationship with the province? But your initiatives in trying to get support from the province, can you clearly illustrate that? Because it's also been a very long period of these battles. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, who's the next? Please, members, do indicate with your hands so that I can at least see how to manage. Okay. All right.
No, thanks, Chair. Chair, I would just want to deal with...
You are very soft. I don't know whether it's you or the mic.
No, thanks, Chair. Maybe it was me. Chair, I want to establish from the municipality, and good morning, what is the status of the VBS investigation or report, and who are the affected parties? Then in respect, you know, the mayor went to town yesterday, Chair, in respect of mines, etc. in the area. Why did you choose to start debt collection in townships as opposed to in towns and in the industrial area where there's large power users? I want to understand the choice for your selection in terms of avoiding large power users and going to small power users. Townships generally have meters of about 10 amps, and that's the cap on that meter. So I'm concerned that those who have the ability to actually pay significantly to the municipality are being treated with soft hands, as opposed to the vulnerable who have significant challenges. Why do we choose to go there? Then, Chair, I thought I must make the point that it's not correct that MMs investigate the UIF and W. That investigation is the responsibility of MPAC. So I have a significant... I just went through the necessary legislation again now. I know Umama raised it on the other side.
Chair, and good morning, Chair and honorable members. Chair, I just want to take a cue from Honorable Nathan on Oliphant on the issue of the VPS. What is the status of the VPS? And I want
to work and the task of MPAC. And it then, you know, raises other questions, Chair, as to the effectiveness of the MPAC when we don't even understand what they're supposed to do. I wanted to just make that point. Thanks, Chair.
Of the municipality. Were you finally cleared in terms of that? I would want you to respond on that. Secondly, Chair, to the mayor. Since the tenure of your office as a mayor, how many municipal managers have you worked with? If you can just give us count, how many have you worked with up to the sitting municipal manager? Chair, I'm worried about the municipality. You know, this municipality is part of the first candidates of the financial recovery plan. These are the first candidates. And this municipality is still on rescue phase. It's still on rescue phase. It's not moving. And something is not right. It doesn't make sense. If Ramotsere, RSM, the same municipalities that actually joined the program together, they're able to register some. They are now on stabilization phase. And this is a big municipality. It's a high-capacity municipality. It is a concern. It is a concern, and issues of directives of the PERs, the provincial executive representatives, I think at some point we need to get to that, to start to look into that, whether has the municipality cooperated in terms of making sure that they get out of the quagmire where they are, because they are, the issue that Honorable Sompa raised on the IT contract is a concern. I know that there's actually an advisory from the PER then on the matter of the IT contract. I can recall that. And I wonder how has this matter been dealt with up to this point, because now the IT is still a problem in the municipality. And I think these issues that we need to actually also from our side need to follow up. Let me pause off that. I have a lot of questions, Chair, but I'll take them through the scoper in the province. Thank you very much.
Let's hold it. Let's get the responses.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Sorry, I was still checking with his worship who to start. The issue of the Operation Patela is correct, Honorable Chair. We've got large power users in town and elsewhere. It was a launch. I must indicate it was a launch in the township, one reason. But also when we launched it, we agreed that that's where losses are. If there's illegal connections and wastage, that's where it's happening. But we then since agreed yesterday, just yesterday, we issued a communique internally to everyone else, all consumers, to say, please come and clear the issues on your accounts, because we are preparing everyone. When we leave the Tlhabile, we are now back in town. We thought we were going to go to the Tlhabile, another township, but we're now back in town. Exactly from the submission that was made to say we can make quick turnaround if you go to the LPUs in town. So we may have started incorrectly, but we're going to cover all of them. And town and industrial is the next one. And that process will be starting next week. Like I said, is the communique we issued yesterday. Now, the issue of support in the province. Quickly, we could recall the support that we got from Cogta through Mr. Mohale, where he facilitated 2 processes. The issue of the cross-border activities, 2 processes. The issue of the cross-border activities, 2 processes. The issue of the cross-border activities, fair, that is in Hardebees. That went very well until it got attention of City of Tshwane Council, and we're still waiting for a resolution of council on that one. The latest meeting we had, I think, was a month ago. We'll be getting a formal response in that regard. So the reason we do that process is we believe we can get extra revenue if we take over that particular area in Hardebees. I must also indicate, Honorable Chair, my call that I was referring to the city manager on the Khabalatsane and Klephatsi is the support we're receiving, because already there rent water is involved and we're trying to get a solution together there. Another support we have is on UIFW. We wrote to Provincial Treasury, and as we speak now, we're busy doing logistics arrangement for our colleague by the name of Mr. Sierro. Is one person who's going to be complementing the capacity in terms of UIFWs. Already was approved to come and assist. PER, another support. Skills audit. Salga on the MPEC, Honorable Speaker indicated. AFS review. Last week, when we were about to go to AG for the AFS review, we had PT assisting us on the reviews there. I must indicate the last one, Honorable Chair. The invoices, the debt collection from DPW, because of their size in terms of consumption, we got support. There's facilitation on our invoices just to collect revenue when we go into the issues of collection. Allow me to ask the CFO to proceed through you, Chair.
Okay, let me just take the last questions. Can we make it few, so like one, so we can close? We've just overstepped on the time. So we'll then get you to answer whatever remains. So let's deal with the questions.
No, good morning, Honorable Chair. Just to ask, on the AG's report, there are issues around your planning. Very simple things. Technical indicator descriptions, standard operating procedures. Why are you not able to fix these things? Why is it so difficult just to fix basic things just on planning? And the last one, Chair, is on the matter of water. there's been a historical problem. Now I want to understand, there was a problem of tankering and the cost of tankering. Linked to that was around the cost of drilling a borehole in Madibeng. What is the situation now? Have you sorted out those things? And if you are going to give us an answer, will it be what the people will be happy with as a true reflection of their own experiences? Thanks.
Thank you, Chairperson. In Madibeng, the village Sonop that was raised is a very poor community. There is also a ward councillor assigned there. During oversight, residents there told us they don't respect the living and they don't respect the dead. The cemetery is overgrown. Next to the cemetery is a illegal dumping site. Next to the illegal dumping site is illegal land invasion. What is the municipality's responsibility? Although that area is under public works, at least the municipality has some responsibility to deliver some services to residents who voted them there into that council. And in Letlabile, Majakaneng, Damonsville, water and sanitation is an issue. 2 months ago during oversight, Chairperson, we couldn't conduct an oversight visit because a child had died drowning in a sewage pit in Damonsville. And the community was very angry and very sad. It's a tragedy. And it's not the first time that children have died in water pits, in sewage, in Madibeng. The municipality, the problems that we heard here are political, but it is impacting people's lives where people are dying. They need to get their act together. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I just have one question. I just want to know how far is the investigation done by the Department of Water and Sanitation on the complaint of wastewater being discharged into the Crocodile River? Thank you.
So, Chairperson, mine is on the issue of consultants. So, when did you appoint these consultants? And when is their contract ending? Do you think by the time their contracts end, you will be ready to can at least conduct or reconcile your annual financial statements in-house, particularly the most simplest like your VAT 201? Secondly, is the issue of your banks. How many banks do you have as Madibeng local municipality? And can you give us the health status of all those bank accounts you are having, and which banks? Because there were allegations not so long ago that some were even used for self-enrichment. Other people bought cars, some bought properties with some of these accounts of the municipality. So can you also take us into confidence insofar as those allegations are concerned? But lastly, the issue of lack of training on crafting the KPIs. How far are you since the AG has brought this matter to your attention? What is it that you are doing about it? Thanks, Chairperson.
Those allegations, you need to bring them a little bit more substantive, because they're direct. You won't get an answer which we will satisfy. So let's get proper. I'm not saying say it now. I'm saying we would have to do it in.
I'm just substantiating, Chairperson, to say some of these allegations were made by even the mayor himself of the municipality.
Debate.
So
let's not debate.
Okay,
let's not debate. I'm just guiding you. You want a list of issues around the banks there, what the bank. Now I'm saying you are not going to get that now.
Okay.
And I'm saying you have an allegation around the issue of self-enrichment.
Yes.
It's not detailed enough to be able to get an investigation. So give us that properly, then you can actually request a proper report.
Absolutely, Chairperson.
All right.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and good morning, people of Northwest. You know, Gaskhuabar horses have bolted. We've been here since Monday, Chairperson, and it's unfair to this joint committee. The municipalities are so creative in giving response. Let me help you, colleagues. This joint committee, they have done their spade work, and the trend as from Monday, you can see that officials are in control, politicians are not in control. the officials tells us what they want us to hear, and we know exactly what is the problem on the ground. Let me advise you, refrain from looking at us in our face and tell us what you want us to hear. Tell us the truth. We are here to help you. Horses have bolted. The community is tired. There is no service delivery. So don't come here and tell us English. We don't want to hear English. We want to hear how, after this session of 3 days, you are going to go back and ensure that our municipality are operating. This municipality is one of our key municipalities on job creation, but it's one of the worst factories I live in the municipality. Please don't do that to us. It's emotional abuse. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Speaker. Round up the responses. Start with the CFO. I'll give you 2 minutes, 2 minutes, touch the issues so that we just focus, don't wander around. And MECs, there are 2 issues that I would like you, as you respond, to deal with. The response to the letter on Madibeng, and the other one is EPEC investigation capacity in Madibeng. Then you can add the other issues. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. On the issue of VBS, in 2017, the municipality invested 50 million.
Bring it closer to your mouth, we can't hear you.
On the issue of VBS, Chairperson, in 2017, the municipality invested 50 million with VBS. In 2018, there was an internal investigation by the municipality. The other investigation was done by Provincial Treasury on the same investment. In 2018, the municipality opened a police case with Hawks. In 2019, November, I was preferred with charges emanating from the forensic investigation by the forensic investigators. I went through the process, the municipality halted the process. Again, in 2021, where there was an administrator, the process was restarted, where I was clear, the chairperson, as that I did not do anything. Because at that time, when the investment was made, chairperson, I was not the acting CFO. There was a permanent CFO who was appointed, but somehow the forensic audit picked up my name. But where I'm sitting, I'm cleared. The executive mayor by then, Councillor Ratlow, was given a clearance letter for myself and my colleague who were highlighted in the forensic report. But internally what we have done, Chairperson, is that as a municipality we have applied to be one of the municipalities we were approved by the curator to receive back our monies. So far, 2 installments have been received by the municipality from the VBS investment. And then there is also an issue that AG has raised with regard to material irregularity with respect to VBS investment. And we have dealt with that issue, Honorable Chair, with Auditor General. That matter of MI was closed with the AG. So that's where I'm sitting, Chairperson. I'm cleared. I've got a letter. The municipality, through the Office of the Executive Mayor, has got a letter that clears my name on the issue of VBS. But the Hawks are continuing with their case, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. We've got 2 accounts, APSA and FNB. The issue of water, Honorable Chairperson, ours is to agree that communities want water will improve in that space. But the questions were around tankering is still happening. It remains one of the main sources as an augment because of our current infrastructure challenges. The drilling of boreholes is still taking place, but I must indicate, earlier on I said, we've got a measure in place with the CFO, orders before works. So we are not observing at that level requests much of drilling of boreholes. However, the tankering is still taking place, like I said, because that one is a daily consumption, but we're managing the cost as well in that regard. AG issues, the APR, like I said, was reviewed by a province as well. So we've done our own assessment and we've got a better APR going into the future, starting with this audit cycle that we're in now. And we picked up all those weaknesses and we're correcting. Thank you very much, Chairperson. I'm going to hand over to the EM.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I want to respond to what Honorable Nathan just said. I still maintain my submission that Section 132 of the MFMA, read together with Circular 72 from National Treasury.
Sorry, what are you responding to?
He was saying MPEC investigate.
Okay, we won't go into that again.
Okay.
He's made his point, he was responding to you. So we can't have the further exchange. Let's leave it. I said the MEC must get involved.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Which
Chair.
one are you responding to?
No, I'm just responding to the matter around the MMs.
What about the MMs?
There's an issue that was raised that we had several MMs
Okay,
before the appointment of the substantive one.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we at the beginning of 2021, we started the
You
process.
got 1 minute for that.
Okay. Let me just say we have appointed an MM, and all MMs we work with, there was never a problem. Thank you.
I didn't think there was a question to be answered to. The point that was made was instability of the MMs. Now that's a historical issue. The issue is you've got the problems where we are because of how you've behaved. That's the problem. And so when we talk about the instability of the MMs going back, part of what is affecting the municipality is that, and the members are raising it from that point.
Honorable Chair, my apology. I'll do injustice to the SONOP community. There's a
Excuse me?
asked. The SONOP community. My apology to it. Yeah, I feel bad.
What?
You gotta,
The sewage,
SONOP.
SONOP, is that the sewage thing?
No.
What is the SONOP?
Illegal dumping, symmetry, and land evasion.
Oh, I see, that's different. That's fine. Proceed, deal with that.
So I was saying, apologies. I was going to feel bad for the people of Sonop. Earlier on, I said it's a public works infrastructure which we're engaging so that we take it over, so we deal with the funded mandate. But I also agree that it's an area to look into on how the municipality can come in. I'll go back through my community services, through my human settlement. We look into these matters. We commit to see how we can assist. Thank you very much.
Mrs.
Thanks, Chair. With regard to the issue of the appointment of the municipal manager, when we were in Madibeng dealing with the issue of the introduction of the 106, this matter was brought to our attention, and that was sometime in June, July. We immediately went back to the office and ensured that we attend to the matter, and I can confirm that a report and a letter was written to the mayor on the 16th of July 2025, indicating the position of the department, that we do not concur with the appointment, and confirming that we did not concur, and we have communicated to the
You did not concur with the appointment of this current MM?
Yes. The second matter, Chair, I can confirm that the issue of irregular appointments of two companies of ICT are part of the investigation of the 106. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. The issue of the MPEC, the new one, the old one was trained, and the new one again, it was trained. We continue to again do on a regular basis on areas that out of the first training would have been identified as a need again to further strengthen the understanding of MPEC on those matters. So the training has been conducted, and we are hoping that the municipality will take that into consideration, because the challenges that we have raised is that the work of MPEC often does not get to council, either because of political reasons and so on, but this one has been trained.
I thought I want to close the debate, this argument. The investigations by MPEC, whose responsibility?
The investigations we worked with, often MPEC, whatever that they identified, based on the capacity they have from the municipality, they will take the report to council, and council after that.
Based on the capacity, whose capacity? MM's capacity or separate MPEC's capacity?
The one is that MPEC members are trained to capacitate them to execute their responsibility. Secondly, MPEC, from the municipality point of view, they need to provide the necessary human resource support to the technical officials that must support MPEC.
So
And
who will
even
do that?
those-
Is that the accounting office? Is that the MM that's going to provide that?
In the organogram of the Speaker's office, that provision must be made that MPEC must have researchers and either manager responsible to support the functioning of MPEC. And even those are also trained, so that they can compile a report, send to council, and after that report is sent to council, council must adopt and take further action on some of the findings of the MPEC, and that's why in some instances disciplinary board come into effect after certain investigations have been done. And on irregular and wasteful expenditure, MPEC will recommend that following their own processes, they would have identified that there was value for money in this instance, and therefore they recommend either that council must write off or whatever the case may be, depending on per issue that would have been raised that MPEC is seized with at a particular time.
Thank you. We closed now. Let's hear what your issues are.
No, thanks. Thanks, Chair. Chair, for me, it's just to check the legal standing of the engagement with the MM, while actually the MEC has confirmed that there was no concurrence. I'm raising these issues because there was a court case of which there was a judgment that was in favor of the MM, that it should be brought back, hence the MM is in front of us. Just to check the legal standing and the money involved with regard to the case and decisions made by the MM on behalf of the municipality, while actually there's no concurrence. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. The MM was suspended together with the mayor, although the mayor was forced to take a sick leave. So we are not told. The MM explained, but the mayor does not explain why he was forced to take a leave together with the MM. And the reasons of the suspension stroke, the leave of the MM, has been explained by him. And maybe one must clarify us, is either the mayor or the MEC. Because where we are sitting, we don't have a clarity in terms of why the mayor was forced to take a leave after the MM was having an allegation of deviation once he was arrived in the council in December. So the picture that is painted here, if it's not clarified, MEC, is that the mayor was interfering with the processes of operations in the council. That's why we needed clarity as a committee. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, but can I ask, Honourable Member, we should have been very direct from the start on the matter, because you threw it as a kind of light-hearted matter. Now, when we're closing, you bring the substance. So can we try and do that? I'm trying to get us to close, and I'm just worried about how we keep dragging this. MEC?
My view, Chairperson, is that maybe the mayor can clarify his leave of absence as to why was he placed on leave or why did he take leave.
Mayor?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, the leave was taken on the basis of an advice from my political principles, which I honored, and my return was also based on the same. Thank you.
Raise your voice so we can hear. No, we don't mind. We just want to know what was the basis for it.
Yeah.
If they advise you on the basis of what?
Yeah, there was an allegation against me as the executive mayor.
Saying?
About nepotism in the municipality, which was later withdrawn by the same person who made that allegation. And the matters are also before court. Some were referred to the public protector for investigation.
Your issue on the allegations of nepotism is in court?
Yeah, I'm saying, and it is also before the public protector.
So somebody complained to the public protector and made an application to court?
No, somebody complained to the public protector who is anonymous, we do not know. And someone who wrote those allegations withdrew them, complained to the public protector who is anonymous, we do not know. And someone who wrote those allegations withdrew them. Councillor began to use that, and the same person who wrote this allegation for the court.
Somebody makes an accusation against you?
Yes. Who uses a document that was circulated by a certain personal assistant to myself. And this gentleman withdrew the allegations. And one councillor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. Yeah. So there was a document about nepotism done by your personal assistant?
Yes, yes.
That personal assistant wrote a document to who?
Wrote it to the political party I belong to.
So it was, so they complained to your political party?
Yes.
And then the political party says you must take leave?
No, the political party did its own investigation, and after some period, the matter rose again, and at that stage it was when the PA has withdrawn the allegation. But the matter also was placed before the public protector.
The same document?
The same document.
By someone you don't know?
By somebody I don't know, yes.
Okay, so the public protector is investigating?
Yes, he's investigating.
Okay,
yes.
So how does the matter get to court?
It gets to court because somebody used the same document to try and stage a motion of no confidence in council against me.
So who went to,
on TV? Yes.
So who went to court?
The PA.
So the one who did the document goes to court now?
Yeah, to say no, this person can use the document which I have withdrawn. Yes.
Okay, so what we have now is that the public protector is investigating you on the basis of the document done by your PA, submitted by an anonymous whistleblower.
Correct.
Right. Then on the other hand, your PA has gone to court against the member of the municipal council who used that in the municipality.
Yes.
I think we'll leave it there. Let's leave it there, because we have two processes there that have to run on their own course. I'd like us to try and close. Madibeng, thank you for your presentation. I've got the following issues that we would like you to give attention to, and we're going to request that the MECs must supervise, oversee, monitor, and report on all of these issues with dates and timelines and targets. The first issue that we need certainty about is political stability. This matter has come up in different ways. The fact that you have sometimes council meetings that just break down on disagreement and you lose a quorum, those kinds of issues. The fact that there was this issue of the MPEX chairpersons being changed and all of that, whatever these issues are, we need to deal with the fact that there should be no political instability. That's the first issue. The second issue is a whole basket of financial management and control issues, basically that you need to build your internal skills capacity to cover a whole lot of areas which I hear are being managed by consultants: financial management, financial controls, assets, annual financial statements, debt management. All of these issues require that you must have your own internal capacity to be able to manage. There has to be implementation of a financial recovery plan that deals with all the issues around revenue generation, management of expenditure, and all of that. Ultimately, you being able to address the issue of unfunded budget so that that can be eliminated, and then you can deal with the issues of the going concern, certainty, and the question of long-term financial viability of the municipality. Linked to all of that is also a directive for you to comply with the Treasury debt relief conditions. So all the issues they have indicated are suggesting to us that the Treasury is unhappy with the way you are actually spending the little that you are able to get. That's the one group of issues. The next group of issues are issues of the MPEC. Yeah, MPEC needs to be strengthened, and I think the debate that we've had here is a debate that basically says that something has to be done to strengthen the capacity of MPEC to operate, to investigate, and not be hamstrung by what the issues of training, but it's also human resource provision of the necessary skills. Then, of course, with that, you need acceleration of the UIFW investigation of unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. So this has to be done and reported to the council for necessary actions to be taken. And then in that situation, I also just want you to include there's this issue which is of concern, and the way it's coming up, it's coming in a different way, but we have to investigate the issue of the monthly payment schedule. You know, your management of cash flow projections. That matter does need to be investigated because there are irregularities there that are actually the basis of the displeasure of Treasury, because that's where a lot of busting happens. You know, you end up with no money, but a lot of money would have been used and paid on things that were not projected for that month, but at the end, you've just seen that the payment has been done. You've given a lot of examples for that. So that needs to be part of the issues that need to be investigated and, of course, kept. Then, ultimately, the issue of investigations must lead to consequence management, and we want to report specifics, disciplinary actions that have been taken, as well as criminal investigation processes that would have been followed. That's the next group of issues. The next group of issues relate to filling of the vacancies of senior management. Now, there are two senior, positions that require to be filled, and so this needs to be dealt with. And when I'm talking about it, I'm actually saying that the MEC must monitor the targets. We must set a deadline by which date all of these must have been filled, and they must then look at the timelines, and if there is no compliance with those timelines, that the MEC must be able to intervene to say you should by now have done this. So that issue linked to also dealing with the issue that was raised by the Auditor General, that of appointment of managers without checking their proof of their previous employment. That is an issue that will again come up in the audit report next time. The next aspect relates to the consultant replacement plan. You have too many consultants, there are too many gaps. We need you to build your internal capacity and reduce reliance on consultants. Then we do need the MEC, the MECs, we need the two MECs to assess the impact of the interventions of Section 139. Are we making any progress? Do we need further interventions? So we need that report to come from the MECs. Then the following reports, the following plans have to be submitted to us. One, the plan to address water losses. It's a big issue, but including it, a report on the water tanks, how these are being managed in terms of provision of water and adequacy thereof across various communities. And in that, we also need a report that gives us the situation regarding the billing information. How are you billing? Are we having communities satisfied that these billing procedures are acceptable to them? Then we need another report on the issue of sewage spillage. The reports that are coming are also quite distressing if you have to listen to some of the reports that the members have actually raised here. Another one will also indicate to us how we're dealing with illegal connections. That is an issue again that's been raised here. Then there was a specific request for a report on the fleet management, the numbers of your fleet, the cost, what is owned, what is hired, cost of servicing of those services. Let's just get a sense. How much do you own and how much do you hire, and what are the projected, what is the monthly breakdown of these two, so we can see what exactly is the municipality doing. Then the next one is an issue that also just focuses on the MECs. Here the MECs need to investigate and report on the following matters. From what I'm hearing, the MEC seems to have done this already, and so will just supply us with the report. The two companies on the ICT, in particular, we are interested in the basis of their appointment, the scope of work, the work performed, payments to date, and all advices regarding these contracts. Apparently, there has been already a comment about what should have been done, and it was supposed to be implemented, it was not implemented, and all of that, so we need to get that matter sorted out. The next report that we do want to get is a letter that the MEC has done in relation to the current He says it was not approved. Of course, now it begins to raise a lot of new issues. What is the status of the court case in this regard? What then becomes the implications of decisions taken, and what are the steps to take? And so the MEC will give us that report. For the our members here in the province, and I want to note now, you see the honorable member, he's gone, and you will obviously, no, there are his colleagues. There are his colleagues who know where he